Happy Sunday evening, red-headed stuff stacker family. It is a gorgeous and glorious day here in Henderson, Kentucky, and I hope where you're at too. Well, we got some good news. Now, I chased this down, and it took me a minute or two to confirm that the original source, or at least a retweet source, ReTruth, was posted on Donald Trump's official Truth channel. So here we have Donald Trump. I told you guys it was going to happen between 30 days and like mid-October that all of these court cases would come to a head. If you remember, I mentioned some of these people may not be tribunal. They might be more in a civilian court, and then some of them would be in a military court. For instance, Obama military court. Let's see. Letitia James would be in a civilian court. She didn't commit treason. Ladies and gentlemen, Michigan Swamp Hopper, I've got great news for you. You are now looking at, and if you can, screen grab this, and if you have Truth, post it on Truth. Or you could just go to Donald J. Trump's Truth page and retruth it directly from his page, because that will actually count. Now, what we are going to do is Tuesday morning, I think that the White House comment phone line is open on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think it is, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at like 10 a.m., some weird hours. So when those hours happen, I'm going to have another live stream to remind you to call the comment line and tell Donald Trump that you want public military tribunals for Obama and everyone else. Now, one person equals 10,000 people. The last time we played this game of calling the White House, that very evening on Air Force One, he mentioned, remember we called and we said we want our airwaves back. We want those networks shut down who are poisoning the minds of our loved ones. A lot of you called. I told you we only needed 10 phone calls because 10 people equal 100,000 people. If you work at a major radio station or a television station in a large city like Los Angeles or New York or Chicago, the metric is when you call in, let's say you're calling in for the top 40. All right, this is WLAK, and we're taking requests for tonight's top 40. So when you call in and do a request to a radio station, that actually goes for a vote for the top song. And then sometimes they open up the phone lines and say, hey, you call in and vote for your favorite song of the week. We're going to do the top 10 at midnight. Your one call always equals 10,000 people. That is the metric. There's two metrics I know very well. As a salesman, 3 out of 100 persons will say yes to you. So when I was 16 years old, I knew that. And I figured all I had to do was ask out 100 girls, and at least 3 of them would say yes to me. And that was pretty accurate. I found that to be very accurate. For every 100 girls that I hit on or asked out, 3 of them would say yes. So we do have a very glorious day here. We do have a very beautiful day. This is Donald J. Trump posting all roads lead to Obama, ReTruth for public military tribunals. And he's going to make them public so the whole world, so the angry half of America understands. This isn't taking a misdemeanor for Trump paying off some woman, whatever that was, or the payments and then being divided into 34 payments, and they turn a misdemeanor into a felony, and instead of one felony, they divide it into the 34. I mean, that's a stretch. Now, if you don't know, many of you may know why Obama is the sticking point. The red flag is Obama's Social Security number comes from a man who was born in Connecticut and died in Hawaii the same time that Obama got his Social Security number. So it's a stolen Social Security number. It's the first three digits are 042. Right now, if you want to read the whole story, you can go on to X, type in 042 Obama, and then it's going to say, are you looking for people? Are you looking for stories? Are you looking for posts? Pick whatever stories or updates or news or whatever, and it'll bring you to just hundreds of people. But these aren't just any people. These are verified, like every single story is from a verified X account, which means you're paying $10 a month to be marked as legitimate. So if you're Jennifer Aniston and you want an X account, you have to pay $10 to verify that you're Jennifer Aniston. So these people with these verified accounts, who are people who have a much higher reputation than people like myself on X that do not have a verified account. You know, who are you going to take the news from? The verified account of Baron Trump, or the verified account, right? So it's, I guess they have enough pieces of the puzzle now to use the evidence that came up in Arizona, and it was the same county that we're having all the problems in, but this sheriff is no longer sheriff. Now they got an Obama Soros sheriff in. But that sheriff verified that Obama's birth certificate was fake. And then many years later, 4 years ago, we were able to put it into Photoshop and separate Obama's birth certificate into 7 different layers. So if you're not familiar with Photoshop, what you could do is you could literally screen grab something off your phone, put it into Photoshop, and Photoshop will tell you how many layers are here. For instance, there's at least 2 layers on what we're looking at right here. There is the layer of words, all roads lead to Obama, read truth. That's the top layer. The bottom layer is the picture and the black on the top and the bottom. So Photoshop would tell us that the photo that you're looking at on your screen right now is 2 layers. Obama's birth certificate is 7 layers, and the bottom layer shows the stamp from Kenya that has the rooster in it. So this is the beginning of the only thing here is that surprising me is they're starting at the top of the food chain. But the bottom of the food chain is going to start singing like a bunch of little birdies once they see the head man go down. So very interesting. This is a great time to be alive. We've known that for a long time. And I'm very excited. Let's see. And I did the live stream in this position tonight to open it up. So as the far lefties are scrolling, this will end up in their feed. So these live streams are much more valuable to, instead of me just singing to the choir or preaching to the choir like I always do when we do a horizontal live stream. They don't share that with the rest of the world. These vertical live streams get shared with everybody. Let's see what I can read here with all this other stuff underneath it. Dr. J says, what kind of file would this picture be? I've heard this is a layer thing, but I can't remember. This is a JPEG. Photoshop can separate layers of anything because the birth certificate of Obama can be screen grabbed from your phone, become a JPEG, and it could still separate the layers. So this would be a JPEG. This is a JPEG because what you're looking at right here, I screen grabbed off of Donald Trump's Truth. So if you go to Donald Trump's Truth, because I had to verify this was coming from Donald Trump, because the version of it I saw was originally posted or retweeted by Street Fighter 17. And I don't know if spiritual Street Fighter 17 is the same as Street Fighter, but I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Street Fighter. I'm just saying I do look up things people say to verify they're true. And there was a big time when that wasn't happening, when I was not able to verify him. And it was about the same time, you guys remember Christina B, the Asian woman who was in the Doors movie, and she was she died while she was at an event with Michael Jaco and 4 other people who were not responsible for her death, but they were all at a Patriot movement. What I used to do, what Christina used to do, or Kirstina, or whatever her name was, she used to watch my videos in the morning and then tell everyone what I said in the afternoon, and she would never give me credit. And she would say things verbatim. So what I did is I ended up with some audio of Zuckerberg saying some things, and I purposely took it out of context, and I reported exactly the opposite. It was about dumping a bunch of stock, and I reported the opposite of that and added a few details so I can catch Christina B stealing my crap. And she reported the story word for word verbatim as I did in the morning. And then I outed her. And then 3 months later, she was dead at that event with Jaco, Street Fighter, and somebody else. Oh, yeah. Remember it was Froggy, the fat guy that was with Mike Penny. And that's why, if you guys ever wonder why I say 5x5, 5x5, and then Swampy or Gibby will put in 5x5, which means, can you hear me? Because that's what they always did. No, ironically, I made fun of Froggy News, when he said that Disney was eating babies. Disney's eating babies. Disney's eating all the babies. And then I had to retract myself because he was right, because Disney's eating the babies. That bastard was right, but Christina, not so much. God bless them both. They were patriots, but she was lazy. She didn't go do her homework. She just stole my homework, put her name on it, and reported it to everybody. So if you are a far leftist joining us, your boy is about to go down, and we get to watch it on TV. And for some people, this might be porn. JPEGs do not have layers. Well, I have screen grabbed things and taken the layers apart from a picture that I took from my phone. So I don't know what you call it. Maybe it turned it into something else. But nonetheless, on this previous channel, on like channel number 12, many of the people who are in the room right now watched a video where we took the photos apart. Where we took, and maybe you're not thinking of Photoshop, maybe you're thinking of the other one. Also wasn't Photoshop that was used to reveal the layers, it was Adobe. Adobe, maybe one of them can't. Maybe Adobe can't take apart layers. But what file are you saying it is? Original file? Okay, well, whatever. This is getting a little far lefty. We're not arguing about what Photoshop can and can't do. We are saying that we saw the layers come apart of Obama's birth certificate. That's just plain fact. Okay? That's plain fact. And you can take apart anything that is layered. They can, maybe, I'm sure it's Photoshop that can identify it. Maybe it's Adobe. One of the two of them can identify. Maybe you have to turn the JPEG into something else. I don't know. Maybe it happens automatically. But you can take layers apart with Photoshop. We've already been down that river. We've already seen it happen. There are 7 layers to his birth certificate. And it doesn't matter. The motherfucker's going to hang. Okay. Yes, we did. I did that. Okay, I can't read this very well with Street Fighter underneath it. Adobe makes Photoshop and Illustrator. And I had a subscription to that for a very short amount of time. I think it was $49 for a month. And it was not worth it for what I needed. I tried to use it for editing. So anyway, bottom line is, let me read, I'm taking the letters off for a second. Our day is about to come. I said if they reverse, I said 2 different things. I said if they deny the Biden pardons, all shit hits the fan right away. I did not attribute that to another remark I made where I said that all of these trials were happening between 30 days and mid-October, and that we could expect Hillary to be last. Madison Marquette, in my opinion, is insane, but very intelligent and a very good mom and a very good person, but she's 100% not there just based on what's happened in her life. She made statements that I truly believe are God's truth, that she was in a military tribunal. It was Joe Biden who was having a hearing. She told her lawyer that's not Joe Biden. The lawyer just said, play along. And Joe Biden was convicted of a lot of horrific things. And I can't remember 2 or 3 of the things. I don't want to misquote her, but she said that. It's probably one of the first 1 or 2 videos on her channel. I truly believe that that was true. I don't know how it ties in today's story. I have never been one of those people that said that Hillary Clinton is already dead and they got a replacement. I've never been in that boat because that in itself robs us as the American people of our constitutional right to know what's happening to our leaders. So I thought that that would be, repaying a crime with another crime, in my opinion. So I've always stood by that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would only say 10% of me is in the I could be wrong column, but I could be wrong. And what's happening to Obama right now could have happened 5 years ago. But I doubt it very much, but there is some suspect things that make me think that. Hillary Clinton getting arrested. They were holding her arms. I was never one to say that she had handcuffs on that day. I've never been in that boat because I can't see the handcuffs. However, and everybody disagrees with me, and that's okay. They're almost 100% of my viewers disagree with me and believe that she was getting arrested that day. I could not say that because I didn't see the handcuffs. I have to have the evidence before I say it out loud. I don't want to bear false witness. That's a sin. So I can say that they were definitely holding her arms the way you would hold a prisoner. They were not holding her up at that time. They were not holding her to keep, because she was holding her own body weight, but they did hold her as if she was under arrest, like you would see a closed policeman walking off someone that they've already handcuffed. That's exactly what I saw. What does concern me is whoever took the video never gave us any, they didn't tell us what was going on in the video. They just put out the video. The other part that concerns me is she was walking out of her daughter's penthouse apartment that day, and the person who took the video of her getting pushed into the van was not able to get us a video of her walking out of the building. And if you're a photographer, there was a bunch of photographers around that day. It was 9/11, 2020, the day Trump walked into office. It does concern me that we didn't see the handcuffs. We didn't see her walk out of the building. Why didn't the cameraman have their camera up and ready? And if there were handcuffs on her, wouldn't the cameraman or the reporter tell us that? The person taking the video. Why put this video out there with nothing, just video, and let people guess? So if I am wrong and Hillary is gone, that's kind of concerned to me, as much as I want Hillary to pay for her sins. But maybe there's a good explanation. So are we going to watch tribunals that already happened a few years ago? I don't know. Are we going to watch live tribunals? I don't know. Are there going to be tribunals? Well, Donald Trump's not one to bullshit, and he pretty much knows the answer to any question before he asks it. Like any good investigative-minded person would do. There are many, many questions. As a matter of fact, probably half of the questions I ask my offspring, I already know the answer to. And maybe a lot of you guys are like that too. Trump's asking us a question. Read truth if you want public military tribunals. It doesn't matter if nobody responds to this post. We're having public military tribunals. And for some people like Letitia James or Fannie Willis, it's going to be a civilian court. But Fannie will, and as I said before, I'm going to say it again, and maybe this is what they're doing. I just said this last week. I said, why are we focusing on every stupid little crime? James Comey, 8647. Adam Schiff, Russia. Hillary Clinton, erasing emails. Why would we spend time on all these tiny little crimes when it's all under the umbrella of RICO? At the minimum, you take everyone out with one stone with RICO. But the Republicans have a way of worrying so much about ballots that went in the back door of the TCF Center and got mixed into the real ballots and will never be able to be found again, like a needle in a haystack, when all we had to do is call the election because they wouldn't let the election observers in to observe. That automatically ends the election. Election done. Redo. Detroit. We're going to redo it because they kicked out all the people who were appointed by the government to observe what was going on in the counting process. That ends it right there. But we went the long road. We went and showed up in courtrooms with the ex-mayor of New York talking about ballot this and ballot that, and I saw harvesting here and that, blah, blah, blah. So hopefully they got their shit together enough to be able to look at everyone under one umbrella of a RICO case, attempt to overthrow a government, and many other things. So is it going to happen? Abso-fucking-lutely, yes, it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. There's a 100% chance it's going to happen. But remember, when that victory comes is when the MAGA movement falls apart. Because we have atheists in this party, we have Christians in this party, we have Muslims in this party, we have Jews in this party, we have Mexicans in this party, we have whites in this party. We have all these people who have a different reason to be MAGA. And we have gays in this party. We have people that are so far against gay marriage that there's no way that the gay MAGA and the super, super far right MAGA guy are ever going to ever sit down and have a good conversation or a coffee. The only one thing we have in common is Donald Trump. So we have to be very mindful of not falling apart or finding a way to come together, or more importantly, find a way to grow the movement, which is what you can do every day. I have a bumper sticker on my car that says Democrats for Trump. I voted Democrat my whole life because I hated the Bush family. I hated McCain. I knew he was full of shit. I was so far against them. I voted for Donald Trump 3 times. I voted for Obama once until he legalized propaganda. I remember the day they said that on the news. And I said, this guy's more of an enemy than George fucking Bush. And that's pretty much the time I flipped. John McCain was the biggest piece of shit that ever said he was a Republican, probably. So I'm not a member of any fucking party. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment just as much as I love the Second Amendment. And I have the right to shoot off my mouth any way I want to, just as much as I have the right to use my arms to protect my country or preserve it, which is where we are now in history. No one's attempting to preserve it except for Donald Trump. God bless him. He has 18 more months to prove he can do it. And after that, it's up to us in the Second Amendment. The only way we're going to preserve this country is and we don't win that next election in 2026, and the Democrats take over either the House or the Congress, either the Senate or the House, we lose. The game is fucking over. It may be close to over now, but if we have military tribunals, I'll bet you a lot of rhinos are going to turn real fucking MAGA. 18 months because the midterm election. We got till the midterm election to get serious work done. And Donald Trump is a man who's got his hand in a fucking hornet's nest. And like I said, taking out one hornet at a time or doing one crime at a time ain't going to get it done. So maybe they're onto that, and maybe, if all roads lead to Obama, there's a lot of people on those roads that lead to Obama, and that could be an umbrella RICO type action, which would take 700 judges and 500 politicians out in one day. They all get charged on the same day for the same crime. Most of them go military. And some of them stay civilian, but then you got them tied up. See, once you can get somebody into jail for 2 years and shut them up and break their bank with their lawyers on the first case, then you can start adding cases. If you got Hillary Clinton in jail starting next Tuesday, and she's got to come up with X number of dollars for some lawyer, don't even matter who the judge is, almost doesn't matter anyway, because you could just keep tacking on charges from other places in the country that have fair judges. But once you get Hillary off the fucking street and get her away from the media, then that's all of her weapons are gone. Did you see Flynn posted who wants Trump for 2028? Yes. As a matter of fact, the t-shirt that I made, Trump 2028, was taken down by Teespring. So I'm going. They took it down. They like, what the fuck planet do I live on? I mean, I used to wear a T-shirt that said "Die Yuppie Scum." You couldn't do that on Teespring today. Well, the word "dies" in there. So fucking what? First fucking Amendment. Trump 2028 got taken down by Teespring. So what I'm going to do is 48 instead of 86-47. I'm going to do 48-47, which means make 47 number 48. Would tax dollars pay for their defense lawyers? I don't know. Well, none of them are in office anymore, right? So I guess at least the ones that are not in office wouldn't have that opportunity. They don't have that protection. I don't see New York getting too angry about the $10 million that Letitia's going to eat up, but I know how to get lawyers. You know how you piss through $10 million? Is you keep asking for another court date. When you show up in court, can we extend this, Your Honor, 60 days? Can we extend this? So every time you got a lawyer, if anybody here has been divorced, you know, anytime that they take your case and they hold it over for another month, you just spent $300 to $500 having your lawyer stand there and get you a new court date. So if you're getting a divorce right now and you need to protect yourself, show up in court without a lawyer and ask for a new court date. And your ex just spent $500, $300 to $500. So that's how you break the bank. So you just break Letitia $10 million. We can piss through $10 million real quick, Letitia. What are you going to do for number 11 and number 12? This is going to cost you $13 million. You only got 10. Games like that, you could piss through $10 million. I wonder how much Trump spent in lawyers with Letitia. I don't want to keep it too long, but I kind of do. Dave says treason. Would tax dollars pay for? Yeah, it wouldn't pay for treason. And I did hear Flynn, and that's a great example of what I just said. Half of the MAGA party is against Flynn. Half is for Flynn. And we just got to step back and say, we're not all the same. We're not all from the same camps. Flynn is not from our camp. Flynn is a Democrat who became a Republican. You know, I'm probably more libertarian. Someone said a libertarian constitutionalist. That's a pretty accurate description of me. I'm not a Republican. Never met a Republican that I liked. Donald Trump ain't no Republican. He was a Democrat. There should be a third party called MAGA. There should be a third party, and we would probably all be in the MAGA party, and none of us would be in the Republican Party. Every single Republican that you like is MAGA. So maybe we need to rename the party and quit giving money to the fucking Republican rhinos. Republican is a rhino. MAGA is a patriot. So maybe we need to start redefining what a Republican is, what a MAGA is, because there are gay MAGAs, there are far-right MAGAs. We just got to find a way. See, because once we get these big problems out of the way, then we're going to start looking at the little problems. And that's where the division's going to fall in. You know, somebody on the far right's going to say, we got to stop gay marriage. And then some gay MAGA guy is going to be like, fuck you, we're not stopping gay marriage. And that's where, you know, those little tiny stupid arguments that really just micromanage people's lives are what's going to destroy this party. What we need, the Constitution, and we need a clean slate for the United States. And if we can all agree upon that and stop there, we'll be fine. But we don't need to micromanage MAGA into non-existence, because that's my fear. We're all in this because we're all fucked. You ever notice how quick your enemy becomes your buddy? Like every single episode of Dukes of Hazzard, okay? Not every single, but almost every single episode of Dukes of Hazzard. Boss Hogg was on the same team as the Duke boys because there was a third problem that just rolled into town. See, that was the makeup of the whole show, is that Boss Hogg and the Duke family were on the same team often because there was a bigger, badder, bad guy in town that had it out for Boss Hogg and had it out for the Duke family. So that's the situation we're in now. We just got to keep the Boss Hoggs and the Duke family on the same team. And we have to grow the team. If you guys don't feel, if it's not heavy on your heart to find a way to grow MAGA by making your own damn t-shirt, if you don't want my $19 t-shirts, or a bumper sticker, make your own damn bumper sticker. Democrats for Trump puts a seed in the brain of Democrats who are freaked out by their daughter being in a changing room with another boy who's 14 years old, dressing like a girl. Okay? If I could have got away with that shit in 8th grade, I would have been the ugliest fucking girl you ever saw. And I'd be in the girls' locker room. Because I was that fucking horny when I was in 8th grade. You mean all I got to do is say I'm a girl? And I get to go walk into that dressing room and watch the girl I had a crush on for 5 years change? Sign me up. So it's those things that bring the Democrats to the MAGA movement. But you got to plant the seed. Democrats for Trump will make them angry. I got motherfuckers driving up an inch from my fucking bumper in traffic all the time, every day. Almost every day. Anytime I'm driving in rush hour traffic, at least one person pulls so far up my ass and they got the angriest fucking look on their face, like they want to roll me over. In my size car, they could roll right over me. Pretty much with anything. And it angers them, but it plants the fucking seed, and but they're going to dream about it. It's going to be in the back of their consciousness forever, especially if you emotionally trigger somebody. And at some point, they're going to be a Democrat for Trump as they see the shit constantly rolling and flowing. They're going to wake up and say, I don't want this for my country. I don't want those weird books in my 3rd grade's library. I don't want my 3rd grader to have to think about transgenderism. Okay, there are Democrats out there that truly believe that. And most of them probably don't even know what's going on. But if you guys don't make a move, I'm going to make a t-shirt that says gays for Trump. And I'm going to wear it in areas where I know there's a lot of gay people. I don't give a shit if somebody thinks I'm gay. Ask the last woman I slept with. She'll tell you I ain't gay. She might say I take it a little too far. She might say, keep your tongue out of my butthole. But she's going to definitely say that guy's not gay. So I don't mind wearing a gays for Trump t-shirt into an area full of gay people. Because one of them's going to flip. And you guys need to think about how you can do that. And if you want to go through the t-shirts that are available on the fun page, I'll post, go through the posts on this page. If you go through my post, it used to be called Community tab. I got a couple, even that 2028 t-shirt, you click on it. At the top, it says Red Pill T-shirt shop. I got a bunch of t-shirts there. Almost all of them are $19. And if Teespring takes longer than 10 days to print your t-shirt, and they will, you get free shipping. You just got to make a complaint to their little live automated person and then ask for a live operator and say, you've been over 10 days. Your guarantee is I get my shipping fee back. And get free shipping. So then you're $19 in. Or make your own t-shirt, and you could buy it for $19. Design your own t-shirt, but it don't work on the internet. We're not winning any hearts on the internet. And we got to grow this movement in the next 18 months or we are up shit creek. And the 18-month mark is when the Democrats take back over. So we got to turn. We got 18 months to turn as many Democrats as we can into Republicans. And we got to find a way to keep the Muslims and the Jews and the Christians and the atheists all in the same camp. and every other combination. I'm just using them for an example, but there's people that are pro-abortion. There are people anti-abortion. There are people like me who say that's up between you and God. I could tell you how it's going to turn out. You're going to give birth to another baby in 10 years, and you're going to be crying yourself to sleep every night because you let go of a baby that you didn't have to. That's how that ends. You're sitting there looking at your new baby, thinking about the baby that you got rid of when you were 17 years old. That's between you and God. Do I want every baby to live? Yeah. Am I okay if a gay couple adopts a baby? Yeah. Get the baby out of the orphanage. I've seen orphanages. I've seen one orphanage, and that was too much. Way, way too much. Go visit an orphanage. You want to scare the shit out of yourself? You want to not sleep for the next 3 nights? Go to an orphanage. Go there on Christmas. Drop off some gifts. I'm happy to have any baby have a family. And to be quite honest, gay guys usually do pretty good financially. I mean, what little Chinese girl wouldn't benefit from having 2 gay dads? Ballerina classes till you're 18. Anyways, I don't mean to make light or joke about stuff like that, but I'm being honest. That's just where I stand. And I know probably 80% of you stand don't stand with me on that, and that's okay. We're all in MAGA. We're all in MAGA together, and that's micromanaging shit, whether gay guys adopt Chinese babies or whatever. Or any kind of baby. I'll tell you, this one kid I fell in love with, he was 8 years old, and he was blind as a freaking bat. He had glasses 10 times thicker than Pepsi bottles. But he came to our work and asked us questions about our jobs, and the kid had so many cool questions, and he was obviously the littlest one in the bunch and definitely the runt of the litter out of the 30 orphan kids. And I just like, God, let me adopt this baby. You know, being a single guy at the time, that was the way things went. And I don't know how the hell I'd get him to school while I'm at work. But I just wanted so bad to be this little boy's dad. But if 2 gay guys came along and took him in, I'd be okay with that. You know, there's, you know, I might draw the line. No way would I let trans people adopt a baby. That's ridiculous. They're mentally ill people. You know, but being gay isn't like a mental problem. I mean, it's the opposite, but it's not like being what is it called? Having schizophrenia, you know. I mean, you know, transgender is pretty freaking close to schizophrenia, you know, but being gay is just being gay. You know, you're not going to make any babies. Why not adopt one? Anyways, I don't want to go off on that, but why fight about that? And I'm not saying there's no way in God's world, if any judge ever let a transgender person adopt a baby, I would punch the judge minimally. Yeah, you know what? I think it could mess with a kid's head, but I think it's way worse if they're getting beaten and molested by their foster parents. You know, people adopt out of love, and people are foster parents for money. And foster parents are pretty much the worst thing an orphan kid can have. I mean, not all foster people are bad, but a lot of the foster people don't work and just have a house full of kids, and that's how they pay their bills. The kids are just a meal ticket. You know, the system's real bad, and my point is getting the kids out of the system any way possible is great. Like, my brother's gay, and he's married to another guy, and that guy was a vice president of a major airline, and my brother works for, well, there would not be emissions on trucks in California if it wasn't for my brother. My brother was very high up at Mercedes. As a matter of fact, so high up that like his best friend is the president of Mercedes. So there's two gay guys. And if me and my ex died, I would want my daughter to go to them. So that's my real life situation with gay people. So if something happened to me and my ex-wife while my daughter was young, I would want my daughter to go to them. A gay couple with a 6,500 square foot house. And like 6 or 7 bedrooms. And 4.5 baths. And the kitchen counter is an exact replica of a baby grand piano. That'd be a nice house to have a Christmas in, and they're two very loving guys. So, although they are on the opposite side of the political spectrum, completely, that's my point. Is, I don't know. But again, we're not here to debate gay people, but we don't want to lose any gay people from the movement, and we certainly want to add gay people to our movement. Our movement already consists of a little bit of everybody, but we got to grow it. And you have a responsibility for that, and you also have a responsibility to come back on Tuesday, and I'm going to give you the phone number and the hours for the White House comment line, and you're going to say, we want public military tribunals. That's all you got to say. Now, like I said before, we made a phone call last time. We told Trump we want our airwaves back from the networks. And that night on Air Force One, he literally repeated that. Okay, so he's not going to do anything about it, but we know he heard it. And we know he takes advice from every freaking person. He always asks people, regular folks, like guys that work at coal plants, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? That Donald Trump is famous for asking opinions and then calculating everything in his head and spitting out the right answer. So when you call the White House this week, your one phone calls were 10,000 people. So if 10 of us call up, it's 100,000. If 100 of us call up, we got 1 million. So we're going to represent, and we want public military tribunals. And finally, Trump gets it. Trump gets the reason we put him into office. We put him into office for military tribunals. That's why I did. That was my number one concern. All right, I really love the fact that you guys spent some time with me this evening. As someone who grew up in the system, I can say firsthand that fosters are like anything else. Some are good, and some are bad, and some are hell on earth. And you don't get to pick them. Yeah, Obama's day is the best. You don't get to pick them. And the good thing is that a lot of people who grew up in that system, right now, there seems to be a movement of those people who were abused in that system, and they're standing up and they're calling them out. And that's amazingly brave. And I am proud of those people, and we should all pray for those people. So let's end this in a quick prayer. Dear God, thank you for bringing us together tonight. Please let us discern the truth, and please don't let me bear a false witness upon these people. I understand. I am very responsible for that. Please help those people who are coming forward, especially those who are in the child protective service systems and foster systems in this country, to come forward and tell us what they know so it doesn't happen to another child. Thank you for everything you've given us, and thank you for everything you've taken away from us. Amen. All right, peace and love worldwide, y'all. Live your life before your life lives you. hopefully we reached some Democrats who are ready to jump ship tonight. And pray for those people, and pray for a way that you can, out in the real world, change those people, or at least plant a seed. That's the most important thing. We need to gain at least 10 to 20% by the next election. And Trump's doing his job, but we got to do it. We really got to do it, because think of it like this. It's like you being able to have 2 votes. If you could change a Democrat, you can't change your mom's mind, your brother's mind, your cousin. You're not going to change none of their minds. You're only going to change the minds of strangers. And you can do that with a billboard, with words on the back of your t-shirt, or a bumper sticker on the back of your car. That simple. That simple. I will put a link to the t-shirt shop. Generally, actually, on this channel, I can't put the link in the post comment, but I can put it in the comment of whatever post I make. So it'll be like t-shirt shop post, go into the comments, and you'll see the link. Maybe I'll try and put it in the comments of this video too. And you can also, on that exact same website, make your own account and make your own t-shirt. If you've got a different idea or something you think will work, just do it. It's $20 to double your vote, to get another Democrat to vote exactly like you. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a very safe week. I'm off for the next 2 weeks, which is wonderful and well-deserved. And I hope you all have happy travels tomorrow morning. Peace and love worldwide. Live your life before your life lives you. Thank you, Tracy.